Well, this is a massive top 10 matchup that's not getting the shine that I think it deserves. And it's because of Ohio State, Texas, 1 versus 3 over there, according to the AP poll. But over here, man, we are on top of this game just as much as we were on top of that game. For those of you new around here, my name is Colin Bashingle, the host here at Bash's College Football Show. And you can find me over here on TikTok. Just look me up, Bash's CFB Show. Try to build it over there as well as here on YouTube, which we're only 1 subscriber away from 300, which is another milestone and step in the right direction. And the more support that I get, the easier it becomes to invest resources and time into this channel. So I would really appreciate it because the quality of the content is only going to go up from here, and you guys can support it if you like the content. And make sure you like the video and comment down below what you think of this game. If you do interact with this video, it's going to help somebody else find it somewhere. Now, let's dive straight into this game. The most intriguing part of this game, you have LSU calling Clemson the fake Death Valley and all this stuff, and they're going on the road to play at Clemson, which will be a rocking environment Saturday night. And how is this offense going to deal with this defense and this crowd? And that's going to be the big thing that we got to look for in this one. Well, it's going to help that you got an experienced quarterback with Garrett Nussmeier, but this defense that they're going up against, specifically the front four, is the real deal. They are very legitimate. You're talking about 2 guys who everybody's talking about as potential top 10 picks in the upcoming NFL draft. Peter Woods, the interior guy, really dominant force in the middle, and then TJ Parker, the edge rusher over there that can really move inside. He can have some stunts to where he can get matched up with a guard, and Peter Woods is athletic enough to where he can help him with those twists. These guys are really talented. You also brought in Will Helt, who's a really good player from Purdue, and then you bring back an experienced player and DeMonte Capehart. And I think that he's a really good player as well. He definitely pops a little bit on tape, certainly not as much as those other 2 guys, but he's definitely a good, solid, experienced vet on that D-line. Depth, specifically in the interior, is a little bit of a concern, but I think in game 1, you shouldn't be overly concerned about that. They're also very solid at linebacker with a young, talented kid who played a lot and impressed a lot. Sammy Brown, a true sophomore, and then Wade Woodaz is the experienced vet at that linebacker position. I just don't think that this secondary for Clemson is really that good. I think because you have such a good front 6 or 7, you could consider this Clemson defense to be really good, but I think this back end is certainly not terrible. I'm not making that case, but I think that they are definitely exploitable. I mean, I do like Kylan Griffin back at safety. I think Avian Terrell's a good player, but I don't think he's nearly to the level as his brother AJ Terrell. And I think Ashton Hampton, the true sophomore at the other corner spot, is a little bit of a question mark. So I think that this is a perfect challenge for the secondary to say, no, we're here. And all this junk that I'm saying about this secondary being a question mark, this whole prediction could be thrown out the window, considering that I'm factoring that in. So how does that defensive line take over this game? You got to look at this offensive line to really know. They are very wet behind the ears at both tackle spots. I mean, they have a redshirt freshman, Weston Davis, starting at right tackle. And I'm curious as well to see if Tyree Adams can step in and be a solid player at that left tackle position. I think their interior is pretty good. They have a couple of guards that I really like in Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson, who transferred in from Northwestern. Those guys are pretty solid, but I am a little bit concerned about those tackles. So does that mean that these edge rushers, Will Helt and TJ Parker, are going to just absolutely tear things up and take over the game and mess up timing? Depends on LSU's game plan. If I was LSU, early in this game, your most explosive playmakers on the perimeter is getting Xavier Thomas and Aaron Anderson into space. They got to do that. And then if you could get that secondary to bite down, you don't need as much time to throw the ball down the field. They can get separation and open, and that's where you look at Barry and Brown and Nick Anderson coming in as well at that wide receiver position. Also, Chris Hilton Jr. is a really good player too, who's a very good all-around wide receiver. I really like this receiving core. I think they are maybe the second best receiving core, only behind Ohio State in America. I know Clemson is going to have something to say about that. So we can talk about that matchup against their defense, because I do think that this team will have some success, but it's going to come in spurts, and they have explosive play potential where you got to be holding your breath on every single play if you're a Clemson fan. But we're going to talk about that Clemson offense after we recap the LSU defense, because everybody is so curious about what year 2 under Blake Baker is going to look like. And this first challenge is a real challenge with Cade Klubnik, an experienced quarterback on the other side. But they have so much depth, man. I mean, that's something that I just said I think Clemson might be missing throughout the year. But the more that I look at LSU, and I wasn't very high on them, and I'm not a big Brian Kelly fan, but this team really has it all. I mean, you look at this front four, really, really deep. I mean, I'm looking at the edge rushers. Jack Pyburn, really good player. Patrick Payton, Jamari Butler, who, by the way, tore up the national champions Ohio State last year when he played against them at Nebraska. And then you have Gabriel Relaford, a very young player that they are very high on. The interior's not too shabby either. I mean, Bernard Gooden, he's a really good, experienced player on the interior. Dominic McKinley is also a player they're very high on. Oh, yeah. What about the versatility of Harold Perkins? We're not even talking about him yet as a potential pass rusher in certain situations. That's going to be very fun to see. And then you have Witt and West Weeks at the linebacker spots with Devon Keys, as well. Yeah, I really like this front seven, and I think they did a good job also replacing the secondary. I think Ashton Stamps is a pretty solid player on the perimeter, and I also really, really, really love, and I've been praising this guy on this channel for a little while, Mansour Delane. His younger brother Fahim was a highly ranked recruit, and a lot of that you can give credit to the bloodlines that this guy had set at Virginia Tech. He comes in from Virginia Tech for his last year. I think that he potentially has first round type of top end potential, but he's got to play like it, because last year was a little bit of a down year for not only him, but just the whole team. And him leaving, getting a reset, being a part of a potential national championship contender, I think will be good for him to show on tape. Jordan Gilbert is another player in the secondary to watch for that I think will be really good. All in all, I think that this defense is going to present challenges to a Clemson offense that, don't get me wrong, is pretty talented. Now, I am concerned about the running back position. I mean, you got the young player Gideon Davidson, who is a pretty decent running back, but he's a true freshman. We just don't know what that's going to look like. They're saying Adam Randall could potentially be the starter at running back. Yeah, that concerns me. Olsen Pat Henry is the tight end there. I really don't think also he's all that good. I mean, look, he might end up being pretty good, but I think that they're going to have a drop-off there. Now, I think this O-line is going to be pretty decent, but I have not seen this O-line just be a dominant, mow you down type of unit, and they've played together for a little while. But that's a feather in their cap. They have played a while together, and I think that this offensive line has the potential to really take a huge step forward this year. They just got to show me, because I have not seen this group in particular really show me that in the past. TJ Moore stood out as a true freshman. So did Bryant Wesco. Those two guys were really good. Kind of underrated in that star class that you have of true freshmen with Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Ryan Wingo, Nick Marsh. They're the ones that kind of get underappreciated and not talked about enough. And then also Antonio Williams. He is very critical. If you listen to Dabo Swinney talk, his development and his leap forward, that is going to be massive. And I remember 2 years ago, 2023, before the 2023 season, I said Antonio Williams would be a breakout player. He ended up dealing with injury most of that year. Well, now's his chance to really shine. He's got an experienced quarterback. A lot of people would say the top NFL prospect, Cade Klubnik, slinging the rock too. So when we get down after just looking at this whole roster and that's the thing about these week one previews is I feel like it's going to develop and change throughout the series because we got so much to just talk about these rosters that we just don't know yet. When I get to breaking down the game and summing up everything that I said, I really think this LSU improvement on defense is going to carry a lot of water at the end of the day. I think that they're going to really show that improvement on Saturday in a huge way, and things are going to be tough for Clemson. And I also think breaking in new tackles is going to make things a little bit tough on LSU's offense. Now, when I think about this secondary over at LSU, at Clemson, excuse me, I just think that you will have one or two explosive plays that's going to absolutely change this game. And though it might seem like Clemson is sustaining drives better and doing a better job of winning field positioning, etc., and I just don't think either quarterback is going to have a major turnover issue. Now, I'll grant you, turnovers are hard to predict, and Garrett Nussmeier has had that issue in the past. But I just think I expect for him to get that number taken down in another year starting. And I expect for Cade Klubnik to do what he did last year, take care of the ball. So I'm not factoring in turnovers too much. I think explosive plays. LSU is going to be able to win off of explosive plays. I got LSU winning 27-22. I think that we're going to get in a situation here where LSU is up 24-16. Clemson's being held to field goals. LSU gets a couple of explosive plays. They kick a field goal. This is how I got there. Clemson scores a touchdown, misses a 2-point to tie. LSU drives down, gets stopped for a field goal. They make the field goal, and Clemson has one last shot to win the game. And Clemson gets stopped by a much improved LSU defense. I am really excited for this game. I'm expecting for an LSU win, and that's going to be banking on Garrett Nussmeier taking care of the football and being a little bit smarter with the football and the explosive plays. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.